All right. So let's go ahead and work on the 12-1 work together. I'm now going to zoom out because it's too much. All right. On October 15th, it says Alice Webster's time card data has been provided. We need to calculate regular overtime total hours. All right. That's things that we can do. Regular overtime and total hours. Okay. So let's do this. Alice Wheeler. Work for Miss Webster, a regular 8-hour workday, 40 hours a week, considered overtime, any hours over overtime. 40 will be overtime. Each work week begins on Monday. We want to round the hours to the nearest quarter of an hour. So here's her name, employee number, pay period. So they have all the information that a company might be giving and providing on their employee. So Monday, they got there at 7:54. So we round up to 8, right? They cleared out at 11:57. So you round up to 12. And then we do the same for the afternoon. Rounding from 1 to 5. So that's a regular hours of 8. Do you guys agree? And you continue to do that. 8 to 12, 1 to 5, 8. 8 to 12, 1 to 5, 8. 8 to 12, 1 to 5. That's 8. But now they worked in the evening. That's 2.5. Or no, that's 3.5. 6 to 7 is 1. 7 to 8 is 2. 8 to 9 is 3. 3.5. They didn't work in the morning. They worked from 1 to 5. That's 4. And then they worked 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 4. So they worked 8 hours that day. Does that make sense? 4 hours here and 4 hours here. This is not overtime, right? In order to have overtime hours and on Friday, you need to work over 8 hours, correct? Just because it's in the evening section does not mean it's overtime. 8 to noon, 1 to 5, 8 hours. 8 to noon, 1 to 6. So we got 1. All right, so we have 8 hours here, but they work 1 more hour on the Tuesday the 9th, right? So we got to put 1 hour of overtime. 8 to 12, 1 to 5, 8 to 12, 1 to 5. Again, we're rounding all the time. 8 to 1, 2 to 5 is still 8 hours. A little different though, right? They took lunch a little later. Saturday, they came in and worked from 10 to 1. So that's 11, 12, 1. That's 3 hours. A regular work week is 40 hours. 8, 8, 8, 8, 8. So any hours worked, actually, that would be, yeah. So these are 40 hours, and any hours over 40 are going to be in the overtime. So this 3 is overtime when they came in on that Saturday. They don't usually work Saturday, apparently, in this company. And then 8 hours on that day. So then you'd add them all up. And there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 times 8 is 88. You guys don't need calculators to do this, right? 3.5 plus 1 plus 3 is 7.5. So that is your hours. You guys agree with that? 88 total hours work, regular pay, and then 7.5 of overtime. All right. So now on tab 2, they got the hours worked there. Okay. So then what you need to do, what we need to do is we have 80 5 overtime times 9 is regular hours. So how do you find regular pay? Well, you take your calculator. So I can't use mine because it's solar. So you take 80 hours worked times $9 an hour, right? This is the hours, this is that. So we got paid 8 times 9 plus the 0, 720, right? Now, how do we find overtime? We have to get the time and a half. So you make $9, right? I got this. All that stuff's on there. You make $9. You got to multiply it by 1.5, right? You get 1350. $9 is regular, but you need time and a half for your overtime hours. So 9 times 1.5 is 1350. So that is your hourly rate for those 5 hours of overtime. So you take 1350 times 5, you get 6750. Do you guys have any questions on how we got those two numbers? This is just the pay, $9 times the hours, 80. Overtime is the pay, 9 times 1.5. 1350 is the number that you get paid per hour times those 5 hours. So we add those up, you get 787.50. Are we okay with employee number 1? Doesn't sound like we have too many issues. All right, we got 80 times 1250. That's nice. That's an even grand. They get 3 overtime hours, so we got to take $12.50 times 1.5, and you get $18.75 times 3, and you have 56.25. 1,056.25. The next one doesn't have any overtime, so it's just 70 hours times 9.75. 682.50. I don't know if we have to put a 0 here or not. It won't let me, so okay. 682.50. All right, so now employee number 4, Alice, information is up here. We just figured it out. They're just reminding you. You have 88 regular hours. We have 7.5 hours of overtime, because that was the amount of work we found that she did on her time card last time. They just gave it to us right here, right? So let's multiply 88 times 11, and you get $968. And then we take 7. No, let's take that $11 first. Sorry, 11 times 1.5. To get overtime hours, we got to take this 11 times 1.5. We get 1650. We take the 1650 times the overtime hours of 7.5, and you get 123.75. And you add those two up, and you get 1,091.75. So how do we get overtime? The regular rate times 1.5, get that number, multiply by overtime hours. 12.5 times 1.5, get that number, multiply by overtime hours. 11 times 1.5, get that number, multiply by the hours. So why don't you guys go ahead and do your application problem.